All right. Maybe I'll just lower my boom. There we go. Page 17 got done. Not only is page 18, well, these are loose pencils, but this includes the chapter end, right? Page 18. When you consider that the first chapter was 9 pages, and then the 10th page was a chapter head, it kind of makes sense that we went to page 18, and then I have a page 19 chapter head, but this is the page 18, which has a little ending thing at the end. I went ahead and just I restructured it a little bit. So, for example, I moved the cart over from the right side of the composition to the left side. You can see my rule of thirds like marks over there still. And then I pushed this final panel. I kind of squashed it in and pushed it left, so I could finish this or fit in this next time teaser that I'd like to put in front of the chapter breaks. And we're not going to get very far, I don't think, to tell you the truth, but we're going to get as far as we can, I guess. I'm going to start by doing some panel borders. I'm trying to remember the name of the character in the EC comic where he was he had basically hired both an artist and a writer, but he was, sub hired them, but he was taking all the credit. And his name was something like something Smudge, like Bartholomew Smudge or something like that. And in the DC comic, they all find out about each other somehow. They meet up and they confront him, and I think he kills them in the EC comic originally. And I think it goes there. I think he kills them, but then they by drowning them somehow, and they come back from the dead to haunt him. Apparently it was a fairly common practice, I guess, in the heyday of comics, like in the 60s or the 50s or something, where you would get a gig and then you would, if you couldn't finish it yourself, you would kind of sub hire some of those pages out to some other dudes. I think that's what Neil Adams' studio was kind of famous for, was um, having like they would throw 30 artists at a project. And Kuber did it too. Like Kuber did it with his students. He would, get the students together as top guys, and they would finish some things out. At least according to some of the tales that you can watch on YouTube. All right, I think those are my 3 panels plus this thing. And I don't have an inking layer yet, so let's make one. And make sure and title it. And I'm going to take the pencil layer and just lighten it up a little bit. Oh, you can't see it, can you? When I do that, let's see if it comes into. Make it a little bit more opaque so you can see it. Okay. And then right away, before I do this, I'm still on the pencil layer. I don't like how the lock, I've got my padlock here too close to the bottom, so I'm going to push it up just a little bit. I'm just going to distort a little bit like that. And then when we start drawing in the panels, we will have less tangenty situation. Am I on the right brush? I am. Hard to tell. The brush I like to use has tons of swing to it. Like, what I mean is I can go thin, and then I can go thick and then thin, Um, But if you have just a perfectly steady hand, you can make it look like it's, one of the monoline pens or the technical pen pretty quickly, pretty easily. So just to give you a little bit of the story here, um, they've offered Brillig a chance to just escape. The whole thing is basically they're just throwing the two guards, the number twos, card guards, against the monster as a sort of delaying action while they rescue the books, and then they'll, you know, you don't know yet if they're particularly going to rescue the Queen Librarian or how close they are to her. They've actually told her something completely different. They've lied to her. Um, and you'll find out later how they truly feel. That'll be in a future page. I have to reveal the lore a little bit at a time. Let's see. This is too thin. Let's make it just a little bit to the right. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm looking at my pencils and I've got his hand in the wrong position now. Possibly as an artifact of when I mess with the panel a bit. Oh, and I'm on the wrong. Leave me alone, dude. I don't know what this from selection is. Alright, let's just move his hand. Something like that. Alternately. Nope. I could move his hand to this. I think I'm going to move it to this one. That way it's got less problems being so far away. I think I have this one. Cancel. I want to make the word kill bigger. I'm going to make it 16. There we go. Alright, everything's looking okay. Let's start with the lock. It's from selection. We don't know what it is, and it can't be that important, so let's just delete it. Let's go to the Yankee. Right. Maybe. I had it like in black. I'm wondering if I want to do maybe the backgrounds of the cage black, so I might just do hatching on the lock. Got very crazy line weights going on here. What's going on? That's what's going on. There we go. Good. All right. Running into a perspective problem in that, um, like I don't think I've got the angle quite right. Maybe that's a little closer. I don't know if it's enough to like make a difference. Maybe it is. I was thinking of doing sort of a bisect along the perimeter like that. And something like that. Meanwhile, I'm getting into like this sort of tangled chain on a lock. This is where you could really get into messiness. So I want to make sure it stays fairly clean. And then if we have to texture it up later, we will. All right, that's looking okay. Yeah. Being what it is. So I had this idea for this crime comic I want to do in the future. And I was looking at other crime comics and, just your crime movies, etc. Trying to figure out some common themes of what they have. I don't think that's big enough for a chain link. One idea I had was something about identity. Where you'll have a gangster, like a criminal, who has either infiltrated the police or he's just like a bad cop kind of thing. But then you'll also have a undercover cop that's also in the on the criminal side. And like I'm sure there's plenty of movies that have done this before. And Thunderbolts is like similar in concept, where the whole thing is sort of based around these are actually secret identities. One used for good and one used for evil. And like the idea is there would be low level, it would be like a low level undercover cop and a low level um you know corrupt cop, I guess is what it would be. The undercover cop would be on the gangster side and the criminal would be like somehow embedded in the police. And both the police um leadership and the mobster leadership would be like not as not completely aware of what's going on. Like they would be somewhat aware, like they would know of the existence of what's going on. And then even like I don't know if you ever seen Face Off with Nicolas Cage and John Travolta. That's a great movie. I can't remember the movie that well, other than I know that they actually get their faces transplanted onto each other. But I think that would be funny to have them at some point switch sides, where the criminal that ends up with the police ends up um, doing something good, and the undercover cop that's embedded with the mob ends up becoming evil. I think that might be kind of a fun theme. I have to think about it some more. All right. This is not a great chain link right here. That's okay. I wonder if they ever did that in Thunderbolts. I know, like at some point, Thunderbolts actually end up recruiting an actual hero, and they keep it a secret from her for a really long time. Like I read the full first series, and then at some point they end up working with the Avengers, which includes Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Scarlet Witch. And I think it was Hawkeye points out like all three of them actually started out as villains, or somehow redeemed, I guess. I thought that was very clever. Something we don't really think about too much. They go, oh, Black Widow, it's just taken for granted. She's a heroic character. Why is she Russian? Don't ask questions. We made a whole movie about how she is not really bad. Um, and you go, fine, okay, whatever. And then for Hawkeye in the movies, like they made him like a CIA guy, which that would have been really far from the truth. His comic book roots are he was like a circus guy working alongside the swordsman as a crook, and then he somehow reforms. And the swordsman also becomes a good guy until he gets killed in Vietnam, of all places. All right, let's see what we got here. Drawing chains tangled around a lock is going to be a challenge. I'm all over there. Just have to figure out, like, logically. I know this. Nobody's going to look at this and go, okay, well, let me follow the chains around here and figure out if he did it correctly. Um, I think the chain comes out here. It's going to go. It's going to come out under here, and then go around again, and then it's going to lock to that. All right. So all but confirmed. The 9 Volts Adventure Awaits anthology will be coming out in June. It's going to have this story in it, and I don't know how long it's going to be. I'm going to try and at least include the first 3 chapters so you get a full story. And then also Tarzan, which I believe will be 16 pages. And then there will be, if I can get it to 16 pages, I'm hesitant to promise a page count if I haven't completed the story yet. Could go longer. Like this went longer. This was meant to be an 8-pager. Um, but if we can get Tarzan to 16 pages, we'll release it as its own thing, like a floppy. It'll be me and Jake. Which is going to look really good. Tarzan. I got to figure out a title that doesn't have the word Tarzan in it, though, because the copyright for Tarzan has lapsed into the public domain, but they still have the trademark, so you can't use the word Tarzan in the title. So I think we just call it Jungle of Demons. And then we're fine. I think then we're okay at that point. Well, it's important when you're drawing stuff like this to get the chain links to all be about the same size, while still accounting for rotation, distance, right? The first rule of perspective is that closer objects are further away. I mean, closer objects are larger. I learned this trick from Peter Draws. So when you're putting a shadow behind something, I think these lines, I'm not 100% sure. Might be. So this is actual size, since it's looking good. There's our figure. It's going to be in there. Line weight becomes of supreme importance. All right, here we go. There's a shadow. There's a shadow. I think I need to go a little bit bigger. Oops. Take the confusing parts out again. Oof. I was looking at Monty Keen's Instagram, and he was showing there's like a scene where a guy goes screeching to a halt on a motorcycle, and he'd drawn it in. He didn't like how it worked, and he literally like cut the piece out, stuck a piece of paper behind it, and redid it, and it looked really good. I'm like, that's pretty bold. I guess that's what you got to do if you're working traditionally. I know it's more old school. I just can't do the scanning, I think is what it comes down to. All right. I've somehow got to link these two links up, which I think I just did. But usually I'm going to do it better. Let's do a better job. Not sure about this. Okay. I'm right here. Something like that. I don't like this link right here. I think that one's got a little bit too long. These are like tiny little edits that probably in the grand scheme of thing will not be noticeable, but in the aggregate, it's attention to detail that if you do miss it, somebody will notice and the drawing will look off. All right. Okay. That actually looks pretty good. Let's just say. So for today, he drew a chain and a lock, and that's it. Yeah. That might be the beginning. I think I might actually make the padlock part too small. Or is it? That looks a little bit better. All right, how about there's a 3D hatching that I kind of want to do, but I'm wondering if I should hold off. And what it is the inner curve of the lock, just like right there. You know what? That looks okay. How about some little screws on the lock? Actual size. All right. How about some metal texture of a sort? All right. We're close. All right. It's always going to take a while to get it right. Attention to detail matters. Like these little details. There's one right there. There's one right there. So the next one, the next chapter, Battle with the Jubjub Bird. And I think that's going to be the end of the story. And then I have 2 other issues planned. I mean, that should be, well, if the numbering stays the same, 27 pages. And then my idea here is that the next issue would be the Frumious Bandersnatch, which is not going to be a straight up battle. I was thinking of making him like a con artist. And then after that, finally, the Jabberwock. That'll be the ultimate battle. All right, that seems to be coming together. Where are we at as far as time goes? I'm at 32 minutes. You know what? I'm going to leave it right there. I will continue working on this. I'm going to get at least this page done today, I'm sure. Maybe tonight. Tonight's Wednesday. I'm teaching tomorrow, but I'll still be rolling on some drawing. Please like, follow, and subscribe. Stay tuned for the Adventures Await anthology. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be... it's going to have at least several awesome stories in it. Both Brillig and then also Tarzan. And then, by the way, there's the black and white version of Tarzan, the Jungle of Demons. Maybe we'll just call it Jungle of Demons. But like in the anthology, it's fine because it won't appear on the cover, so it's already easy to use the splash page. Talk to you later.